Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry. It has been a really long time and I do have a reason for why I've been gone. So right now I am filming this 6 days before our first ultrasound. So yes, I am pregnant with baby number 5. I think just 5, I don't know, maybe 5 and 6. If you guys don't know, if you're new to my channel, I know this is mostly a weight loss related channel, but right now I am pregnant. So I am 6 weeks pregnant today. So things are gonna be a little bit different on my channel, but I definitely wanna start getting back into making videos. As of right now, I still haven't canceled my Weight Watchers, or like, I guess, froze it, but you do cancel it, or freeze it, I should say. So yeah, I do still have the app, but I haven't been using it because obviously you're not supposed to be dieting or on a weight loss plan while you're pregnant. I know if you're like very overweight when you start a pregnancy, a lot of doctors say it's okay to keep going. But I am thankfully at a healthy BMI right now. So I started the pregnancy off, I would say at like 136. I'm just gonna put a nice round number on it. Although when I was like, a few times I weighed myself, I was like 135, 135.7. But for the most part, I've been sort of hovering between 135 and 140. So, and that's just like, when you're pregnant, initially you just have a surge of progesterone, and that's just to basically help promote the pregnancy and to ensure that the embryo kind of appropriately attaches to the uterine lining. And then it obviously prepares your breasts for breastfeeding and all these things. So there's a lot going on inside my body right now. And for the last 2 weeks, I definitely have felt it. I've kind of felt all over the place. Like I've felt super hungry. I'll get into my symptoms in a minute. But anyways, so as you guys know, I have 4 boys right now. I have Liam, who is 6. He will be 7 in January. Then I have Logan, who is 5. He will be 6 in January. Then I have Brady and Brody, who are my 3.5-year-old twins. They will be 4 in December. And this little baby, we're just calling Bean right now. We're actually not going to find out the gender, which I know is killing everybody, or my mom's like so eager to know. My husband's like, I want to know. And I think he's convinced that he's seen enough ultrasounds where he can tell, he's going to be able to tell if it's a male or a female. Because I know with the female, it's like the 3 lines that you can see. For a male, there's obviously the appendage. But yeah, we don't want to know because this is going to be our last baby. Or babies, if it's twins. We conceived our twins naturally, so who knows what's in there right now. Because it is my 4th pregnancy and 5th child, I do feel like, I know it's not possible to be showing right now, but I feel like I have so much bloat. Some of my kids are coming inside right now, so this might have to be paused. But anyways, yeah, so I know for a fact that I have been documenting all of my 2-week wait symptoms, and I for sure felt pregnant initially. Then, for those of you that don't know, I had surgery. You can see my scar is actually doing really well. It's healing very nicely. But I had skin cancer. It was basal cell carcinoma removed from my head. So I had a procedure called a Mohs surgery. That was on July 25th, I believe. So I had that surgery on July 25th, not knowing that I was pregnant. Okay, sorry about that. I just got a phone call and now I have a child laying at my feet. He's laying on the vent because we have central air and the vent is like right below me. So yeah, he's laying on that right now. But anyways, so you guys, I did document my 2-week wait symptoms, and like I said, during the procedure on July 25th, I was 9 DPO. I took a pregnancy test that morning, and it was negative, like no sign of pregnancy. Typically by then, with all of my other children, I had tested positive for pregnancy, so I was like, you know what, I don't think I'm pregnant. Even if I was pregnant, I probably still would have went through with the procedure. I did a lot of research online, and it seems like a lot of people, usually during the first 2 trimesters, they say they would rather wait, or I should say the second trimester I think is ideal for doing that type of procedure, but especially in people that have melanoma, which is a very invasive type of skin cancer, it's that the rate of that causing mortality is a lot higher than what I had, which was like the slowest growing type of cancer. But anyways, I wanted to get it done because I had this spot of skin cancer for years. I have actually had it. It was diagnosed when I was pregnant with my twins. I ended up going to my dermatologist. He took a biopsy of it while I was pregnant, and he was like, it did come back definitely positive for basal cell carcinoma, but where you're pregnant, we'd rather maybe just wait, and then you can go see the other, I don't actually know if it's like the plastic surgeon they call it, but it's basically somebody that performs Mohs surgery. So I ended up putting it off. Twins turned 3, like, and then my husband was like, you need to get that done because my head was getting worse. The area of the cancer was getting bigger, and I'm glad I had it done when I did, because even though the scar is not that bad, like the amount that they had to cut was a lot bigger than I had anticipated. Like the cancer itself was really like maybe the size of a dime, and when I'm not going to show it because it's very graphic, but when you see the actual wound and the amount of tissue that they had to like take off, it was pretty significant. Like I would say the size of a $50 at least. And then when they have to stitch it, I now have like a little ridge right here because she wanted to try and make the scar as, she said, aesthetically pleasing as possible. So it is what it is. This is just the battle scar, just like my loose skin on my tummy. I actually don't have any stretch marks, believe it or not. Even after carrying twins, I don't have any stretch marks. So I'm thankful for that. But you know what? If I get it this time around, I don't care. It's just my battle scars, my mommy scars. So yes, this is just gonna be an update for weeks. You wanna say hi?
Hi.
Don't mind if you saw my carpet down there. My dog, I don't know what it is, but lately my dogs have been urinating on the very corner of my kitchen carpet, and we have it up because otherwise it like stains our floor yellow, and it's just a nightmare. We have to buy a rug doctor. We borrowed one from our neighbors, and it's just a disaster. So if you saw that, that's what happened. But anyways, this is gonna be an update on my symptoms for weeks 4 and 5. So honestly, week 4, I felt just typical pregnancy symptoms. No, thank you. I definitely felt my breasts were super sore. That was one of the first giveaways. By the way, so when I had my Mohs surgery, I didn't finish this part. When I had the Mohs surgery, I was 9 DPO. I had a 1-week follow-up to have my stitches removed. And obviously, at that point, I knew I was pregnant. So I had my surgery on a Thursday, and I ended up finding out I was pregnant on like a Saturday afternoon, that Saturday evening. July 27th is the day I found out I was pregnant. So yeah, that morning I tested, and I had like a squinty faint line. And then later on in the day, I actually tested, and the line was darker. So yeah, that was very exciting. And part of me was a little bit concerned. And when I went in for my 1-week follow-up for the stitch removal, I told the doctor. And another thing that I should point out, while I was getting the procedure done, the head is a highly vascular area, meaning there's a lot of blood flow and there's a lot of bleeding that happens. She had actually told me, she had asked me like 5 separate times while she was doing my procedure, do you have high blood pressure? Do you have high blood pressure? And I was like, no, I don't have high blood pressure, and you're making me nervous. Why are you asking me this? She said that I had actually bled more than anybody that she's ever done surgery on. She's like, you are bleeding like profusely to the point where I would think that you were a person on blood thinners that hadn't held their blood thinner. And come to find out, it's because I was pregnant, and when you're pregnant, you have an increase in blood volume. I'm sorry, I hope you can still hear me, but my son is watching something on TV. But anyways, so yeah, that explained why I was bleeding so much, because when you're pregnant, your blood volume increases to perfuse the baby and just make sure that mom and baby have adequate oxygenation, nutrient flow, because basically the bloodstream is how nutrients get to and from your baby. So yes, that's why I was bleeding like a stuffed pig, literally is what she said. You're bleeding like a stuffed pig. So when I told her, she was obviously extremely excited for us. She was like, congratulations, that's so exciting. That makes me feel a little bit better about why you're bleeding so much. But then at the same time, she was a little bit nervous because during the procedure, when they numb the area, they don't do like any general anesthesia. They do like all topical, local anesthetic, but they do use epinephrine, and epinephrine can be harmful to the fetus. And honestly, at that point, the fetus hadn't even been producing an HCG enough to make a pregnancy test positive. So I'm not worried about it. And obviously things are just right now, as far as I know, before having an ultrasound, everything is progressing as it should be. But yes, so, all right, recap on weeks 4 and 5 and how I'm feeling. So week 4, I definitely had super tender breasts. And it's kind of like a blur in terms of how I felt because I was still recovering from surgery. I still had a lot of swelling and like inflammation and pain in my head. So I was focusing so much on that all of my pregnancy symptoms, or what I would have maybe equated to surgery that were pregnancy related, kind of all got tangled up. So week 4 is kind of messy for me. But I definitely did feel a little bit of fatigue, which I chalked up to surgery and just trying to recover, and my body needing fuel to heal itself. And then super sore breasts started. Like, I feel like as soon as I got a positive pregnancy test, my body was like, your boobs hurt. So yeah, boobs have been hurting. And other than that, just fatigue. And that's really the main thing. Oh yes. And extremely, extremely heightened sense of smell. More so in week 5 though. Week 4, I could definitely like notice a much more heightened sense of smell. But this past week, just finishing out week 5, my sense of smell was like ridiculous. So those were really the main things that I experienced. I didn't have like an excessive amount of cervical mucus. I mean, if I did, it was like kind of just creamy, white cervical mucus. Like I said, nothing excessive. All right, guys, I'm sorry about that. I just got another phone call from my husband. But anyways, I know I was recapping week 4. The only other thing that I did also have were like mood swings. I was kind of bitchy, definitely a little bit bitchy, and super hormonal. I thought a lot of the reason or the way that I was feeling was because I was like sort of down about the surgery and the fact that I was gonna have a big scar on my face, and like, I don't know, everything felt like such a big deal to me because I was super hormonal. And not knowing it was related to pregnancy, I thought it was just kind of the way that I was mourning, like the way my face used to look, and I would have to get used to my new face with my scar. But come to find out, I really just think it was all based on my hormones and everything adjusting and shifting, and increase in progesterone and all these different things, HCG. So yeah, that was week 4. Week 5, this past week, main symptoms, still had incredibly sore breasts. I was still moody, definitely still moody. I was very like short-tempered with the kids. The kids have also been pretty rough these last 2 weeks. I don't know if it's just because they're getting a little bit antsy because we spent a lot of time at home, just because I've been really tired. Brody, go watch the movie. Trying to get a video like this done with 4 kids running around is not easy. But yeah, so this week, like I said, definitely sore breasts. I've had mood swings. I have been super hungry, and I hate it because I'm like not making the best food choices. If the only time so far that I've had really like any real nausea has been when I'm hungry. And I actually remember having that when I was pregnant, in all my other pregnancies actually. Like the only time that I really felt sick was when I was hungry. And I don't know if that was like because I had prenatals in my system and my stomach was kind of empty. But even if I have like a snack, I feel like 30 minutes later sometimes I'm already hungry and like getting nauseous. So yeah, that's one thing that I've been battling. Not a lot of excessive vaginal discharge, cervical mucus, anything like that. I've just had normal amounts. I've had 0 spotting, 0 bleeding. You know what? There was actually one night, and I remember my husband and I went to it it was like a movie night with our friends, and I came home and it was probably like 10:30 at night, and I had wiped and it was just a tiny little bit of brown blood, and that could have just been implantation and maybe the embryo just like embedding itself more into the lining of my uterus. But I think if I had implantation bleeding, it was like a little bit later and more into week, I can't even remember if that was week 4 or week 5. I think it was actually week 4. So that would probably have made sense, that I had a tiny bit of implantation bleeding, literally like one time, one wipe, and that's it. I haven't had any since. The day before yesterday, Monday, I went to the gym, and I have actually been trying to work out. I haven't been going as much as I used to, just because I can't wake up in the morning. That's another thing with the fatigue. Like, I had a hard time dragging my butt out of bed even before I was pregnant, and now it's like so much worse. But I went to the gym like early in the morning. I did 70 minutes on the elliptical, and I don't feel like I go so hard that I'm like putting the baby or myself at risk. So I've just been kind of trying to still do that. And then I also went on the treadmill for 60 minutes and I just walk. I walk at like a 3.8, 4.0 speed. I put it on like random, so I let the treadmill kind of control the incline and stuff. So I burned a good amount of calories. I felt great, but I haven't been to the gym. So I went on Monday, haven't been Tuesday, haven't been today, which is Wednesday. But yeah, at least I'm going a little bit. But anyways, with that being said, I do think that my weight is probably already at like 139, 140. At one point I did weigh myself one day, and that was after I'd eaten a lot the day before, and I was at 140. Then I ate better the next day, just less, and I ended up getting down to 139. So I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to lose weight, but I'm also trying not to gain weight at a super quick pace. So yeah, week 5, sore breasts, hunger, mood swings, fatigue, not a lot of vaginal discharge, just like, the gym, that's where I was going with that. So when I had gone, I went on the elliptical for 70 minutes. Then when I went on the treadmill for 60 minutes, I was at like 58 minutes, and all of a sudden I felt, ladies, you'll know this. Men, I'm sorry if you don't understand, you won't know this feeling, but you know, at the very start of your period, like literally the minute you get your period for the first time, not for the first time ever, but like when it comes, you like just feel it like trickling out. That's what I felt, and I literally had an internal panic. I stopped the treadmill, I ran into the bathroom, and it was just white vaginal discharge. So I was like, whew. Then I got nervous, and I'm like, oh my God, did I overdo the exercise? Like when I didn't know what was going on, and when I had felt like something kind of flowing out, I thought that I had maybe done something or overdid it, and I would have never forgiven myself if something like that happened. But yeah, everything's fine. And I do think that I'm probably going to scale it back a little bit, because I do feel like maybe 2 hours of cardio might be a little bit much when you're pregnant, but I feel like if I'm only going 2 to 3 times a week, maybe it's really not that much, because if you spread it out over the week, what would that be? 6 hours of cardio divided by 7 days a week. That's less than an hour a day. So I said it's not bad. What else? Any other symptoms? I don't think so. I already feel super bloated. That's like a huge thing. And like I said, I know this is my 5th pregnancy, but I just feel so big already. Like I just feel huge and gross and bloated. So yeah, I think that's it. Without further ado, I guess I'll show you it's technically week 6, 0 days belly, but I'll just call it my week 4 and 5 belly. Let me put this, actually, I'm trying to think of the best place to show you my belly. So this is my belly with my shirt on. I've kind of always had like a little hooch, so I don't know. This is what I look like from the front. And I self-tanned last night, so don't mind my weird, like, come closer. That's self-tanning because it's the way my sports bra hits me. But yeah. So this is week 6. Technically, week 4 and 5. I'm just gonna call this. And yeah. So that's what we're working with right now. yeah, if you guys want, please let me know what you'd like to see. If you want to see weekly pregnancy updates, I can do that. If you want to see every 2 weeks, because I know pregnancy is one of those things where some weeks like nothing changes and then other weeks there's like a ton of change. So let me know if you want me to do weekly updates. I'd be happy to do that. I do definitely want to document this journey for or to baby number 5. Our first ultrasound is in 6 days. It's on August 20th and it's early in the morning. Well, it's 9:30 is my appointment, which I know they're going to do like a PAP. It's been almost 4 years since I've had a baby, so I don't know if procedures have changed. I know they do like genetic testing now. I know you can find out the baby's gender in a blood test right away, which we don't want to know, or I don't want to know. My husband, I know, is going to try and fight me on that. But where it's going to be our last baby or babies, I can't even imagine if it's twins again. Yeah. I just don't want to know. I want it to be a surprise. I want everything to just be super exciting up until the very last minute. So yeah, if you do like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you are following me for Weight Watchers, I do apologize. Maybe I will start posting videos of what I eat in a day while pregnant. But I'm not gonna lie, some days it's really not that healthy. I'm trying to be as healthy as possible, especially right now because there's so much happening so rapidly, and this is like a crucial time in the development of the baby. So I really do need to make sure I'm getting my vitamins and minerals and just make sure my nutrition is on point. I've also been taking my multivitamin or my prenatal vitamins. I did start taking those literally before I was pregnant, so at least I have that. So I'm hoping everything's good with no risk of spina bifida. He's mad at me because he wants strawberries. But all right, anyways, I gotta go. Like I said, if you guys do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Oh my gosh. Let me see.
Strawberries.
What is that?
Chocolate.
I hope it's chocolate. Lick it.
No.
It is chocolate. I know that because I gave him a granola bar. But we're gonna go wash those hands and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.